Ladies and gentlemen, would you please give a warm welcome to the bride's father. Thank you.
Right. For those who don't know me, I'm Ian, but I've tried to get around and talk to you all, so hopefully most of you will know me. I'm Claire's dad, and I'd like to start on behalf of Chris, myself, Jackie and Bob to give a warm welcome to all the relatives and friends who have joined us to celebrate Claire and Stuart's wedding here today. And I know many of you have travelled a long way to be here, and we thank you all for coming to help celebrate this very special day for us. I know that some friends and relations who would have been able to attend on the original date that was set for the wedding have not been able to come today. However, a number of you are here with us who could not have made that previous day. And as I look around the room, I realise how many friends Claire and Stuart have. And I hope you all have a really wonderful afternoon and evening. And I'm sure you have, because it's been organised so brilliantly so far that the rest of the day is going to be great. Claire's even had an email from Joanne, one of her best friends from school, who lives in Australia, sending her best wishes. Now moving on, it's great to see Claire's friends from Stafford University here. Hey! Tasha and husband Owen, Lisa and Angela, and Jane and husband Stephen. And from Claire's time at work, Ed, who Claire lodged with when she started her first job in Middlesbrough after university. We've got lots of stories to tell, but I'm not going to tell them. and Jane, who was bridesmaid at Claire's first wedding. And other friends, Wendy and Gary, Rachel, Louise and Lynn, and Zoe. And it's also great to see all the other friends and relations from both sides of the family. Now, I've added a little bit in here, and I hope you won't mind. I think all the adults should stand up at this point and give an applause to the children who have been so fantastic all through the meal. They've really behaved so well. And I'd like to thank Claire and Stuart for all the hard work and organisation that's gone into making today so special for all of us and also for yourselves. And again, you're going to have to stand up again, because I'm going to ask you all to stand and to give them both a really fantastic round of applause. Right, now I have something to say about my daughter Claire. Chris and I are very proud of our daughter and her achievements, and in particular getting her life together after a divorce. And we are both delighted that she's found someone who she obviously loves and cares for very much. Now I go back to a long time. I remember the 16th of February 1970 when Claire was born, and I was there at the birth, and I just couldn't believe how much dark black hair she had. She actually looked like an Eskimo. But then we'll move on, and she did very well at school and was always asking friends around to our house after school and was such a very good organizer. And I think we've all seen that today, haven't we? Yeah. And there were numerous bring and buy sales on our front lawn to raise money for good causes for blind dogs. Blind, that's my only joke. Right, and Claire was successful in getting a place at Stafford University. And I remember Chris and I going down to Stafford, I'll talk to you over there, to help Claire to find accommodation. And we found a really fantastic place in a quiet road with a girl who needed someone as a lodger to help pay for the mortgage. And we moved all our belongings into this house, and we were very pleased that she was really settled into the house and that she was going to work hard for years at university. And then 1 week later, we had a phone call from Claire to say that she'd moved into Railway Street with a number of her friends into a small terraced house. And when we visited Claire in her new accommodation, well, we were shocked as it was so close to the railway station that you could hear the announcements of the trains arriving and departing at every time of the day. And the windows rattled. Claire's bedroom ceiling was entirely covered in polystyrene trays that had previously been used to store apples in. And you remember all this, don't you? However, we understand this was the house that everyone came to the parties. It was just on the right part of the road there, and it was a great time was had by everyone. And it's really great to see you all here today. Even though about polystyrene trays, I think Claire has a flair for interior design, and their home in Cop Lane is a testimony to her talents. Claire and Stuart have built up a very successful business, printing photos, images, or company logos onto window blinds. And that's been really, really successful, and again, that's hard work. And Claire's welcomed Lauren and Anna, Stuart's daughters, as part of the family, as Stuart has for Amelia and Felicity. Right, I'll move on to tell you about our new son-in-law. Stuart and Claire have been together for over 6 years, and we all get on so well, as they both do with our other children, Richard and Jonathan, and their families. And Stuart is a partner in a very successful IT company, employing over 50 people, operating in the Northwest, with a head office in Blackpool, and now offices in Leeds and Manchester. And I move on to say that Stuart is very talented in large-scale DIY projects. And for anyone who's visited their home recently, not only is there a fantastic playhouse, but now also a more recent addition of a hot tub in an enclosure that Stuart has designed and built himself. And you won't have to guess. It's always larger and bigger than the average. And I think most of you have signed the board over there. If you have a look, if you haven't signed the board there, have a look, and then you can see for yourself this hot tub where it said not skinny dipping, but chunky dunking. Right. Now, Claire said that she didn't see herself getting married again. But last year, Stuart had a cunning plan, and he arranged a trip on the Orient Express and he proposed to her, and Claire said yes. And hence we're all here today. Now, could I ask you to please join me in raising your glasses to a toast to the happy couple, Claire and Stuart. Claire and Stuart. And I'd now like to hand over to my new son-in-law, Stuart.
Thank you, Ian, for your kind words. Make sure everybody's got their glasses charged, because there'll be a couple of more toasts to come in my speech. I'd like to start by saying how beautiful my wife looks today. So if you'd like to raise a glass to the beautiful bride. Before I get to the official groom's responsibilities, I'd like to tell you about how my wife and I met. I know many of you know this story, so I'd like to involve you with some audience participation. When I point the microphone, if you know the answer, please shout out. Does everybody understand? Both Claire and I were members on a computer dating site. Does anybody remember which site it was? Yes. Correct. A starter for 10. On U-Date, you answer lots of questions about yourself and what you were looking for in a partner. Then based on your answers, they try and match you the best they can. I was using the site for 6 months, on and off, before I found Claire on the site. Does anybody remember who made the first move? You, Stuart. That's right. I added Claire as a favourite. She then sent me a message. We chatted on Messenger for a while and arranged to go on a date. I saved that conversation on my computer for posterity. Claire wasn't at all backward about coming forward, I can tell you. Does anybody remember where we decided to go on our first date? Blackpool! Absolutely. We went to Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Some would say this was a little risky with a complete stranger, but I guess we both knew from the brief conversations that we'd had that it was just right. We had great fun at the Pleasure Beach. We went on many rides and got on really well. After a while, Claire moved closer and held my hand. We had our first kiss shortly after that. Does anybody remember where we had that first kiss? Yes, I definitely remember that. What a day we had. After that, we dated for a while and things moved to the next level. I moved in with Claire and we lived together happily, building our lives together and improving the family home. I've got to know Amelia and Felicity very well and now love them dearly and treat them like my own. In March last year, Claire and I took a trip to Paris, and on the way something very special happened. I proposed to Claire. Can anybody remember where I proposed? On the tunnel. You've thrown me off now. How could I forget? On the tunnel of love, yes. Of course, Claire said yes, and we had a wonderful weekend in Paris to celebrate. The rest, as they say, is history. Okay, here's a tricky one. What did we have for lunch on our first date in Blackpool? Fish and chips, of course. Fish and chips, of course. Thank you everybody for your help telling this story and for being here today. We would also like to thank you all very much for our kind gifts. We truly appreciate it. I'd like to now continue by saying a big thanks to Simon for being my best man and for being a good friend and business partner for the last 10 years. So I've got a present for Simon. Here you go, mate.
Thanks very much.
Mm-hmm.
A gift receipt.
A receipt.
Gift receipt. Thanks very much.
I'd also like to say thanks to Mum and Dad. Our Mum and Dad. For creating us, nurturing us, and helping to make us the people we are today. Next, the bridesmaids. Well, what can I say? Have you ever seen four more beautiful young ladies? Anna, Lauren, Felicity and Amelia. Four amazing girls, I'm sure you'll all agree. So let's make a toast to the bridesmaids. The bridesmaids. And I've got some presents for the bridesmaids as well.
Time to open them because they're very excited about opening them. So
Oh,
can we
okay.
open them and
Yeah.
show everybody?
So I'll just put this out of the way. So Lauren, this is for you, if you'd like to open it now. And Anna. Felicity. Amelia. The girls are very excited about these presents, so we're just going to let them open in there. Slippers. When I was best man at my previous best man's wedding, I received some slippers. So I thought I'd copy that idea and give my best man some slippers, because I've really appreciated those over the years.
Where's the receipt?
The girls have all received a nice handmade wooden box with the names on that they can use for the keepsakes. Big DIY. No, this is small DIY.
You can keep the slippers in there.
We've got a small ink stamper with the name on it as well. Well, thanks very much. That's everything I've got to say, and I'll pass you on to Simon, my best man.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm extremely happy and proud to have the opportunity to speak at the wedding of Claire and Stuart, and I'm sure you agree they make a lovely couple. I'd like to add that Claire just looks stunning today. Stuart just looked stunned. Okay, according to the list, on behalf of the bridesmaids, I'd like to thank Stuart for his kind words. And I think you will all agree, again, Lauren, Amelia, Felicity and Anna look wonderful and have done a sterling job today supporting Claire. On behalf of the bridesmaids and myself, I'd like to thank Stuart and Claire for asking us to be involved in their unique and special day. I know they've both put a tremendous amount of effort into the planning of this wedding, especially Claire. And I can only hope that apart from this speech, everything else will have exceeded her expectations. Stuart and Claire defy the odds by being one of the internet's matchmaking success stories. They not only met on new date, but they fell in love, and here we are celebrating their marriage. I mean, it's incredible when you come to think of it. There are many choices when you date online. You go on so many dates hoping to meet Mr. or Mrs. Right. In fact, Claire told me that she had a terrible online date the night before meeting Stuart. So, lucky for you, mate, the expectations were really low when you turned up. On a more serious note, marriage is an institution, older and more honoured than Honor Blackman. But the bride and groom are very much a modern couple. As you already know, they met online, and like many of us today, they spend a good part of time online, organising and enriching their social lives through websites like Facebook, MySpace and Twitter. For those of you who aren't particularly familiar with social networking, that might not mean much, but this is where the technology really comes into its own. In any other generation, Claire and Stuart's courtship would have been a personal matter, conducted behind closed doors on the back rows of cinemas and night buses. But 21st century lovers leave an online trail, one that we can follow to gain a tender insight into the private lives of this most romantic couple. Let's have a look. This is from Claire's Facebook feed from a few months into their relationship. 4 p.m. Claire is planning a romantic night in, dinner on, wine chilling. 5:45 p.m. Claire is enjoying a long hot bath. 6:32 p.m. Claire is dimming the lights and lighting candles. And here's Stuart's Twitter feed from the same day. It starts with clean pants and socks on a definite promise. Then we've got lunch, chicken tikka masala with garlic naan, mistake. Eating peanuts at desk to cover smell. Then printer ink on good shirt, emergency topping car, it will have to do. Emergency topping car is so organised. Then at 7 o'clock he tweeted, just arrived at Claire's, think I can work this look, wish me luck. After that they both go dark for a bit, then Claire hops back onto Facebook, possibly while she's finishing things off in the kitchen, and we get this, 7:45 p.m. Claire is confused. Didn't have him pegged for the suit and trousers with a vest sort. Handsome, but it's definitely a weird look. Tried to kiss me, reeks of peanuts and garlic. May have to get drunk. And about the same time, Stuart tweets this, not sure about the emergency top anymore, getting funny stares. May have to get drunk. At least she hasn't noticed my garlic breath. Peanuts must have done the trick. Okay, so things are going well. Love is in the air, masked by the scent of garlic and peanuts and copious amounts of white wine. There's another period of radio silence, so to speak, before a last burst of tweeting and posting at about midnight. This is from him. You'll have to excuse the spelling. Brill night, that's N-I-T-E. What I can remember anyway. Think with an F. I'm in love. Did the earth move? Maybe. Knockered now. I think we can assume that was supposed to be an A. Off to sleep. And here are the final posts on Claire's Facebook wall. 11:50 p.m. Claire is excited. Stuart is in the bathroom. 12:10 a.m. Claire is wondering why Stuart is still in the bathroom. 12:15 a.m. Claire is banging on the bathroom door. Can hear snoring. 12:20 a.m. Claire is back in the bedroom. This is finally it. Then somewhat unexpectedly, 12:24 a.m. Claire is eating chocolate and reading Hello in bed. can't be a good sign, can it? So there you have it, a little window into the intimate world of our happy couple. Please join me in wishing them a lifetime of passionate nights. Passionate nights. Cool. Now, as I was thinking about Stuart's interest in technology and the way that it's changed our lives, it occurred to me that a wife is a lot like a PC. For starters, it means a careful choice of model. After all, this is a big investment. It takes money to get things up and running. It takes time and attention to keep things moving smoothly. And it takes patience and an expert hand when things go wrong. You've got to keep your files in order, update regularly, and scan occasionally for malicious invaders. Your wife, metaphorically speaking, is a closed network, so keep your passwords safe and don't moan too much if a bandwidth goes up and down from time to time. Remember these PC lessons, Stuart, and don't be tempted to upgrade when the next generation starts to appear on the high street. And you'll have a long and happy life together. Ladies and gentlemen, a toast to www.thebrideandgroom@happilyeverafter.co.uk. Bride and groom.
Once upon a time, you two met, you shared much love and laughter. May your marriage be a fairy tale, happy ever after. I'm glad I'm in the fairy tale, and you are too, I guess. Congratulations, king and queen, from your fairy tale princess.